For the next few hours, nothing exists except for Cleveland high school sports. Because the Quiet Brothers are here.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Quiet Brothers Sports Show. My name is Kevin Hanley. Got my peoples in the building. We got the homie Eli Robinson.
What up?
Reggie, Reg, and Phil are out tonight, so it's a two-man show. But nevertheless, show will go on.
Yes, sir.
We are loaded with guests tonight.
Yes, we are.
Absolutely. At 7:30, we'll be talking to the quarterback of the North Royalton Bears and the newest commit to the University of Akron, Joey Marousek, will join us at 8 o'clock from the St. Edward Eagles, team leader in tackles with 150, member of the top 25 as well. Lawson Nash will join us. And at 8:30, wide receiver from the Jackson Polar Bears and also the newest commit to Colgate University, Jake Ryan, will join us. So Joey Marousek at 7:30, Lawson Nash at 8, Jake Ryan at 8:30. Loaded with guests today. Browns look pretty good on Thursday.
Yeah, but it's just the first regular season game.
Yeah, I mean, look.
First preseason.
First preseason,
game.
right? I got you. Yeah, I mean, look, they look good, but what did I didn't even watch it. What did Baker play? Like 2 series?
Series or 2? 3 series.
3 series. Okay.
Yeah, he drew a touchdown pass to Rashard Higgins, which he I'm telling you what, Rashard Higgins is looking very, very good.
Hollywood.
You know what? I'm just saying, if John Dorsey wants to release Callaway for that substance abuse, go right ahead, because we stacked that wide receiver right now.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
I mean,
I wouldn't go that
come
far.
on. Do we really want to sink into the same situation that we had with Josh Gordon?
I know you don't, but I say you just this is his first time though having issues like this.
Yeah,
right?
but also he had issues back in college with that whole credit card scheme.
Well,
and the
I
whole
would
weed
say
and
don't
everything,
jump the gun yet. Let's see if he learns anything from this.
Well, I hope he does learn something, because we can't go down this route anymore.
No,
we can't. We cannot.
Let's see if he learns anything from this. And if he does, then great. Then you can never have too many good players on your squad. Injuries can happen at any time. Ask Jermaine Kearse.
Okay.
Jermaine Kearse broke his leg in the first preseason game.
Oh, wait a minute. He did?
Yeah. Jermaine Kearse, wide receiver for the Lions, broke his leg.
Wow.
The Eagles are shutting down Lane Johnson and Dallas Goedert.
Are you serious?
Well, for the preseason. Sorry, not for the regular season. For the preseason.
What happened? Like they got injured?
Dallas Goedert has, I think, a bit of a calf injury.
Okay.
Lane Johnson has a bit of a knee injury. Both are expected to be fine and ready for the regular season, but for precaution's sake, the Eagles are shutting both down. So if you're an Eagles fan, you will not see the rest of those two for the rest of the preseason.
Protect your investments there, man.
Yeah, Lane Johnson is vital to the squad. Got to have Lane Johnson out there. Dallas Goedert is going to have an expanded role, I believe, in this offense too, along with Zach Ertz. Those two tight ends, two very athletic, dynamic tight ends. So yeah, if I'm the Eagles, absolutely shut them both down. This preseason, neither one of them need to play, especially Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson doesn't need preseason work. Shut him down.
I tell you who for the running back for the Browns, Dontrell Hilliard.
Heard he looked good too.
He looked pretty doggone good. You know, I mean, I'm not saying bump Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson was a very good serviceable running back for us, but Hilliard didn't look that bad.
And they traded, and Duke Johnson, if you didn't hear, Duke Johnson was traded to the Houston Texans for what, a 4th rounder?
Yes.
That could become a 3rd rounder?
Right, if he plays 10 games.
Oh, wow, that's probably going to be a 3rd rounder then.
Right, that's why John Dorsey made the trade, because Duke Johnson played at least, 10 or 12 games.
Because they have Lamar Miller and Duke Johnson they'll probably share time.
And they got Alfred Blue.
And Alfred Blue.
Yeah.
But Duke Johnson can do so many things out of the backfoot. That's going to be nice, man.
It is.
That's going to be nice.
You talk about speed in your background.
They're
Backfield,
getting
man.
Deshaun Watson some weapons.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
getting him some weapons. So you have I want to hit something. I was in a discussion last night.
Mm-hmm.
It was on his personal page with a guy that I consider my friend, Mark Munch Bishop. Worked with him, interned with him when I was at KNR. Interned for him at KNR. Good dude, great dude. Always treated me with respect. Never had an issue or anything like that with Munch. Munch is my dude. So Munch put up something about the Indians. You know, the Indians, they have erased that lead from the Twins. They beat the Twins today.
Mm-hmm.
They have erased that lead. They're leading the division.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically said the same thing there that I've been saying here, which is it's nice that they erased the lead. But to me, I'm at the point now where anything less than a World Series, I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing about no division champion. I don't want to hear nothing about division champ. I don't want to hear nothing about that. And so Munch basically, was coming at me and saying, I was complaining and this, that, and the third, and this, that, and the other, and I'm not complaining.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is this. What is it about the fans here in Cleveland and in Northeast Ohio in general where we are afraid, or for the majority, most of them are afraid to demand excellence from their teams? Like, yeah, you know what? It's nice. If the Indians win a division, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. But this team is talented enough, in my opinion, to win a World Series. So anything less than you have fan bases where anything less than a championship is almost unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Why does it seem like in Northeast Ohio and Cleveland in particular, it's almost like we're scared that if we demand excellence from our teams, we're going to hurt their feelings? Why are we like that around here?
Hello, have you not witnessed what over like Cleveland sports history? The drive, the fumble. We're scared because we know something's going to happen. And granted, excuse me, nothing actually happened in 2016. Like I said on many times on that show, and even on that day, when I woke up on that day,
Mm-hmm.
it felt different.
Yes.
Okay, but we saw that, when it came October of 2016, with the Indians. Oh man, it's the same old story. We're scared. We're kind of scared because we think the curse is still intact.
It just feels like we're afraid to demand excellence. We're like people get on Philadelphia fans. They think Philadelphia fans are the worst. They boo all the time, blah, 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 blah. Philadelphia fans expect their teams to perform. If I'm going to go to a game, I'm going to pay all that money to park and all that money for a ticket and all that money for food and all. I expect to see a good performance. Now, are they going to perform well every single game? No. That's unrealistic to think that. They're not going to perform well every single game. And are they going to lose games? Yes. But if your team is talented enough to win a championship, you should demand a champ. Oh, we won a division title. No. Listen to me. It's been 71 years. It's not too much to ask that your team, the Indians in particular, win a championship. It's been 71 years. How much longer are we supposed to wait for a championship from this team?
Just that scared factor, man.
I really think it's almost like they're afraid. They're afraid to demand excellence from this team. Y'all, if you guys are okay with a division championship T-shirt, that's fine. I'm not.
Because I had a taste of it in 2016, and I want to get back to there. I want to get back to that, and I want to actually win it.
This team, we should have one. This team was up on the Cubs 3-1, and they choked. Plain and simple, the Indians choked in 2016. We could have had the Cavs and Indians win it in the same season.
Oh man!
But the Indians choked. The Cavaliers were down 3-1 and came back and won it in historic fashion.
Well,
the Indians were up 3-1 and they choked.
Well, maybe we shouldn't have been, joking about that.
Well, maybe we shouldn't have been. Yeah, maybe I don't know.
Came back on us.
If the Browns don't win it this year, that's I think that might be a little bit different because this is the first year with a new regime and a new infusion of young talent. And so it takes, ask the LA Rams, it's going to take a while to build something like that. Could they go to the Super Bowl this year? Absolutely, the Browns could.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But ask the LA Rams, it takes some time. Sean McVay got there. He was a young coach. He had a young quarterback. He's got a young team. Still a pretty young team, the LA Rams are. But it takes time. They took steps. And last year they were in the Super Bowl. They didn't get it done, but now let's see. Now this is year 3 of the Sean McVay era. This is year 3. And now we're going to see. Are they going to go back to the Super Bowl? What are they going to be? Now the bar has been set. It was a Super Bowl appearance last year. Now their fans are expecting a Super Bowl win. It's been 71 years, man. The last time they won a championship 8 years before my mother was born. Rest in peace. 8 years before she was born, they won a championship. That was the last time they won it. And I'm 43.
You say you what now?
Yeah, 43.
Man, you don't look 43.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll take that.
I mean, look 39 or 38.
Hey, I'll take 39, 38.
Maybe 40.
I'll take that too. Anything lower than 43, I'll take it.
Okay.
You start telling me I look older than 43, I might have a problem. It's been that long since the Indians won a championship. 8 years before my mother was born in 1956. They last won a championship in 1948. 1948. And demanding a championship is complaining. And look, I got mad love for Munch Bishop. Love Munch. Got no beef with Munch. We had a spirited discussion about it. At the end of the discussion, it was all love. I got no problem with Munch Bishop whatsoever. But in this city, in Cleveland, and the surrounding areas, we need to start demanding excellence from our teams when appropriate. Like right now, you shouldn't be demanding that the Cavaliers win a championship because they're not there yet. You can tell they're a young team. The talent is still young. It's still fresh. They got to grow into that. The Indians are there. The Indians have a veteran manager who's won a World Series before, who knows how to handle veterans, who knows how to handle young players. They've got young dynamic players on their team like Francisco Lindor. They've got seasoned veterans on their team like Corey Kluber. This team is talented enough to win a World Series. And anything less should be considered a failure. Because they had the talent to do it. The Cavaliers, no, you shouldn't expect a championship from the Cavaliers yet. Because they're not that good, and we know this. The Browns, you should expect the Browns to be markedly better this year. Should you expect a Super Bowl championship from the Browns this year? No, you shouldn't.
But you should expect a playoff berth.
You should expect a playoff berth. They've got talent enough to make the playoffs. They definitely have that.
Or a wild card.
Hey, all you got to do is get in. All you have to do is get in. And then everything else from there is a crapshoot for everybody after that. All you got to do is get in. So should you at least expect a playoff berth from the Browns this year? Yes, you should. And anything less than that is a failure. Again, it's like the LA Rams. You take a step forward. It was like the New England Patriots back in the early 2000s. You keep progressing. Every single season, you keep going and going and going and going and going and progressing. Anything less than a World Series championship for the Indians is a failure. You can't use the excuse they're a young team. You can't say they don't have any veterans. You can't say they don't have a good manager. You can't say any of that because none of that is true. So why are we so afraid to demand excellence from this team? Demand a championship because I will tell you this right now. In a year or two, this team is going to be rebuilding. Once Francisco Lindor is gone, because he is leaving. I'm sorry to tell you that. He's leaving. Either by trade or he's going to walk in free agency, but he's leaving. We know this. Because what he's going to demand, and he's hot again this year. And so what he's going to demand to be paid when it's time for him to be paid, unless there's unless Dan Gilbert or somebody with deep pockets miraculously buys the Cleveland Indians, we all know the Dolans are not going to pay him what he's worth, and he's going to be out of here. So the window it's short. It's not open very far, but it's still open, and they can still do it. The American League is not that tough. The toughest teams are probably the Yankees and the Astros. The American League is not that tough. Only 4 teams are getting in.
True.
Do you have 1 or 2 wild cards? Only 1 wild card?
No, we got 2.
You have 2 wild cards.
Yes.
Okay. That would be, let's see. So you have the AL East, AL Central,
remember,
AL West.
It's a play-in game.
Okay. So you're going to have at least 5 teams then, right?
Right.
You got 3 division winners, 2 wild cards. Okay. But the AL's not that tough. It's not. So why shouldn't we be demanding the Indians? I don't understand that. I don't understand that, Eli. I just don't. I don't understand why we're so afraid. Oh, you're complaining. No, I'm not complaining. Go win a championship. Go win it. I'm tired of selling for division championships. Go win a World Series. It's been long enough. That's all I'm saying. And they got this. They got another slugger in Yasiel Puig. They have been on fire lately. Erased that whole lead from it. They were down 11 and a half. Erased that whole lead, and now they lead the division.
What is that, sir?
Sorry, that was my phone.
Sorry about that. We're gonna have to do that.
Bruh.
I used to keep it off, but now it's on because I just started turning it on. I guess I'm just not used to it. I used to have it silent all the time. It was on vibrate, and now I keep it on all the time, and I just sometimes just forget. But I'm just saying, look, let's stop, Cleveland. Cleveland, let's stop being so afraid to demand excellence from our teams. The Indians should be in the World Series this year. And they say, well, Kevin, only 2 teams get to make it, only 1 team gets to win it. I know that. The Indians should be one of those teams.
Right.
The Browns, yes. Playoffs, absolutely, you should expect that. You should expect a demand playoffs this year. Hell, for them, it's been since 1999.
Haven't made the playoffs since 2002.
Haven't made the playoffs since 2002. 17 years with no playoff appearance. I think before that, the Buffalo Bills had the longest streak without a playoff appearance.
I don't know. Let me check on that.
It was pretty long. I know the Bills streak was pretty long. The Bills hadn't made the playoffs in a long time. But there's no reason you shouldn't demand excellence from the Indians. Stop coddling these dudes. They'll be all right. They're professionals. Criticism is part of the game, and if they can't take that, oh well. They'll be all right. They'll be totally fine. They're not going to stop playing hard because we demand excellence from them, or because we don't criticize them, or because we criticize them when they don't give us that. They'll be okay. You don't need for anybody to be all scared and timid and they're gonna not like us. What are doing is gonna do? Move the team? No. They do need to have an owner that I think is committed to winning. And I don't think the Dolans are committed to winning.
Actually, it's not even the Buffalo Bills. It's the Detroit Lions.
Oh, how long has it been since Detroit made the playoffs?
Well, actually, their last playoff win was in 1991.
That was their last playoff win?
Yeah.
Wow. 1991?
Yeah.
When's the last time they made the playoffs? Did it say?
Let me see.
I wonder when the last time they made the playoffs. That's a long time for the last playoff win. Dang. Barry Sanders has only been in the league like 3 years, 2-3 years at that point. Yeah. 1991? That's crazy. But again, fans of Detroit, you guys should be demanding. Man, listen, man, it's been long enough. But the Lions can't even win a division title. That's even worse than the Indians. The Lions can't even win a division. That's crazy.
Well, the longest drought in team history, the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm. See? Longest drought in team history. Longest drought in history, Cleveland Browns. Hopefully that'll change this year.
16 seasons.
Wow. Right, so 2002, that's the last time they made the playoffs. That's the longest drought in history. In league history.
And it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2007 NFC wild card.
Okay.
New York Jets, San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals, Cincinnati Bengals, Washington Redskins, Denver Broncos, and so forth.
All right. Okay.
But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers haven't made it in 11 seasons.
11 seasons.
And New York Jets, 8 seasons. 49ers, 5 seasons. And Arizona Cardinals, 3 seasons.
In the grand scheme of things, that's not even 5 seasons, really. I mean, that's long, but it's not that long.
Right.
16 seasons, though? Yeah, definitely. Need to make a change. So I'm just saying, Cleveland, stop being so afraid to demand excellence from these dudes. Namely, the Indians. Team is talented enough to get it done. Stop being so afraid to demand excellence from these guys. All right. So let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll go ahead. We'll get the break in, get it out the way. We'll come back, and then we'll wait to hear from Joey Marousek from North Royalton. So he'll be calling at 7:30. So we're going to go ahead and we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and talk to Joey. So Eli, what's the name of the song?
The name of the song is called Dreams by Poor Music. This is the Quad Brothers Sports Show on One Union Media Network.
Joey Marousek, 7:30. Welcome back to the show. Joey Marousek from North Royalton coming up here in just a few minutes. So, listen, so we, of course, as we say, you can download our app and you can hear our show live on the app if you want to. The app is also good because you can, if you don't have time to listen to the show live as it's happening, every show that we do, we upload it when we're finished. We upload it to the app. So you can always, you can always go back and listen to the show at any time, at your convenience. Any show that we've ever done, is going to be on the app. So you can go and listen to everything that we've done, and then you do it at your convenience. That's the great part about having the app. But if you want to listen live, you can listen live two ways. So you can listen through the app, the Quad Brothers Sports Show. You can download it in the App Store or in Google Play. And you can also follow the Twitter page for our company, which is One Unit Media Network. At One Unit Media is the page. And you follow the
it's the red dot. Just hit the hit the page,
right,
and it will take you to this page called Spreaker. Just hit the play button, and that's how you can hear the show. Hear the show.
All right.
Also, next week you can probably hear it on Facebook too, because we can upload it to Facebook as well.
Oh, okay.
So
all right,
that's another way we can get the show out. If you can't hear us live on our direct Twitter feed, you can go to these two social media outlets, Facebook and at One Unit Media on Twitter.
And when we say you can, we're talking about the interviews too, because I know when after we did our top 25, some people were saying, well, we can't hear the interviews on Twitter. Well, if you go to at One Unit Media, you can listen to the interviews as well.
Mm-hmm.
The same way you can through the app. So you can listen both ways. You can have the app. You should obviously get the app, because again, once it's not up, the archives are not uploaded to at One Unit Media, only to the app. Am I correct? I'm correct on that, correct? Okay.
Well, actually, it's uploaded to both.
Okay, so it's uploaded to both. So you can have at One Unit Media and the app, and you can upload it on both of them. So you can have either or. All right. So if you want to hear any interview that we do, anything like that, everything that we hear, you can hear it. So go ahead and follow our company page at One Unit Media for One Unit Media Network. Go ahead and follow our company page, and also on the app, so you can do both. All right. So we'll have Joey Marousek call in just a couple of minutes. We'll chop it up with Joey. I'm kind of excited to talk to Joey. I'm excited to talk to all of our guys. We're going to try to reach out to as many young men as we can for this top 25 and Rising Stars list. We haven't forgot about the Rising Stars list either. We haven't forgot about that. So we'll be reaching out to those of you that are on the Rising Stars list. You should also be watching your inboxes on Twitter and on Instagram, because we're going to be reaching out to you too. We're going to reach out to all of you guys, because we want to get as many of you on the show as we can. Even during the season, we're going to be reaching out to you guys, not just right now. All right, we'll come back to that later. Joining us now on the phone line, he is a member of our top 25 list for this season. He's the quarterback of the North Royalton Bears. His name is Joey Marousek. He joins us now on the show. Joey, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing fine, man. Thanks for joining us, taking time out of your evening. I know you guys are getting close to going back and starting classes, and we appreciate you taking time to join us, man. So let's get right into it, Joey. So you guys had a pretty good season last year. You were first team All Suburban League, and you guys had some success. In your opinion, Joey, how do you guys build on that success from last season?
Yeah, last season it was a good season. I think it was, in my opinion, we had the best team that I've been a part of in my 3 years at North Royalton. Talent-wise and depth-wise, it didn't show as much in the record that we would have liked it to. We ended up losing 3 games in the last minute, 2 on the last play, and so we've been really just stressing through the off season that to finish all the way to the end. And everything we've been doing has been stressed upon playing a full 4 quarters and playing all the way to that last whistle. So I'm excited about the young guys that are coming up. We have a little bit younger team than this year than we've had in the past couple of years. So I think it'll be good to see what some younger guys can do along with the couple of veterans that we do have coming back. So I think it should be a fun season.
Now, you are obviously the quarterback of the team. You're a senior. What do you think, Joey, is your number one job as the leader of this team? What do you think is your number one job as the guy? You're the guy on the squad. What do you think your number one job on the team is?
Yeah, I think that just overall, just keeping the team focused on the task at hand. I think in the last couple of years we've been too like far-sighted, worrying about like games that are a couple weeks away, and it's fine to have goals like make the playoffs and stuff like that. Win the conference, those are you don't even need to say those goals because those are going to be goals every single year.
Right.
But I think really just focusing in every single week on the opponent at hand and not worrying about anything else is really what I've been stressing and what I'm going to continue to stress as one of the leaders on the team this year.
Now, you had 2,422 yards in passing, 30 touchdowns, 29 touchdowns. I'm going to just round it up to 30. But you also had 575 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. Talk about being able, I guess, are you okay with being considered a dual threat quarterback? And how do you use that to your advantage?
Yeah, I don't guess I've never really put much thought into whether I would consider myself a pro style quarterback or a dual threat quarterback. I just consider myself a player. I just try to do what needs to be done to help the team win. So some games, if I need to run more, then I'll run more. If it's going to be more of a passing game, it's going to be more of a passing game. So never really focusing on one or the other, just trying to make plays and get what needs to be done, get it done. So yeah, I guess you could say I'm a dual threat, but it's not really something that I've really worried about in my recruiting process or anything like that. It just whatever happens. I just try to make plays and keep the chains moving.
So when you get the call, you come out, you break the huddle, you come up to the line. What's the first thing you're looking for once you get to the line? What's the first thing you're looking for? What do you see in that situation?
First, I always look at the defensive line front to see if I can help out my O-line, making a call or anything like that, and then I look up to the safety, see if we're 1 high, 2 high, cover 1, cover 2, cover 4 of some sort, or and then look at the safeties, see how they're playing off the wide receivers. So that's kind of how I look at it first, but definitely focusing on the defensive line first to try to help out my O-line as much as I can.
Can you talk about, Joey, the importance of being in tune with your receivers, you guys being in the same accord, being on the same page, and kind of knowing what the other one's thinking?
Yeah, that's definitely something that we've been working on in the off season, and being able to work with each other and having a good relationship. This year we've had all of our receivers and skill guys are returners from last year, minus one that graduated, but we have all the guys played last year, so we have a relationship already, and we know kind of how to adjust when we get in a situation that isn't working out too well for us. We know how to adjust in that situation and where I think they're going to break off the routes, or where the routes are going to be, and where they think I'm going to put the ball. So being able to be on the same page is definitely crucial, and I think we've done a good job in the off season of building that relationship.
Joey Marousek from North Royalton is our guest. Joey, how do you balance staying on top of your game academically as well as athletically? How do you balance the two?
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate. My family's kind of they're really successful, and my brothers were very good students too. So I've been able to take the lead from my 2 older brothers, as they were good students, just learning how they were able to manage their time, and my parents just stressing the importance of being able to manage my time and not having to procrastinate. And so and all my my classmates are like that as well. So just being able to stay on top of things and uh, obviously trying to compete in the classroom a little bit with some of my classmates and teammates is always it's fun too. So just being able to time management is really the biggest thing for me.
Absolutely. Now, you've already committed to the University of Akron. Um, Talk about that process, and was it stressful for you at all? And how relieved are you to have that out of the way? You can just kind of focus on playing football this season.
Yeah, it was a really really long process. I know everyone's like thinks that you should enjoy every single step of the process, and it was fun taking trips with my family, with my mom and my dad, going to visit a bunch of different schools. I think I ended up visiting over 15 schools or something around that number.
Wow.
And like I said, it was fun being able to spend time with my parents and see what all these schools had to offer. But it was definitely stressful, and it was trying at times when I thought I should have been getting some more interest, but nothing was really coming. But then eventually, this past spring, things started opening up and kind of started to the ball started to get rolling. So yeah, I'm definitely happy to have it out of the way and know where I'm going, and now I can really just focus uh, my entire energy on my senior season, which is what I was hoping for before.
Now, what was it about Akron that convinced you that that was the place that you want to be? Like, I love it here. This is going to be home for me. I like it here. I want to be here. What was it about Akron that convinced you that's where you wanted to go?
Yeah, I think it being home was the biggest thing. It's in the beginning of the recruiting process. I wasn't really that afraid of going far away from home. My mom probably have a different answer than that, but in the
Right.
beginning, I wasn't very. I didn't care about how far away the school was, but as time went on, I think the idea of being like a hometown kid for Akron became more appealing to me, and with Coach Arth being a Cleveland guy as well, that really set it in stone for me. And Coach Arth is awesome. The rest, Coach Zagorski and the rest of the staff, are really happy with how they've treated me and my parents, and where I think the program is going, and being able to be close to home and Northeast Ohio is something I think could be an exciting 4 or 5 years for me down there.
Now, have they said anything to you about? Are they gonna try to redshirt you this year? Are you gonna be in there right from day one? Have they said anything to you about that?
Yeah, most likely redshirting. Cato Nelson, their starter right now, he's a junior this year, and then he'll be a senior next year. So most likely a redshirt season, and then hopefully battling out after that.
Absolutely. Now, because we have a guy, our guy Eli here on the show, he's a Bowling Green alum, so we usually ask this question of all the young men who we have on that have already committed. Did you talk to Bowling Green? Did you have any kind of conversation with Bowling Green? Was Bowling Green ever in the running for you to come there and play quarterback for them?
Yeah, after Coach Leffler got the job over there, one of the assistant coaches came into school, and we met and we talked, and then they invited me down to their camp, but they decided to go to take two scholarship quarterbacks in the 2020 class, and they got their one scholarship quarterback before I was ready to commit. And one of the big things for me in the recruiting process was I wanted the coaching staff to really be all in on me being their guy,
Right.
and so obviously they got their commit before I was ready to make a commitment. So nothing ended up panning out there, and that's where and then like I said, the Akron staff, they believe in me, so they wanted to give me an opportunity. So I'm hoping to prove them right.
Well, me as being a Bowling Green guy, I believe in you, bro. I wanted you
Thank you.
I wanted you to become a Falcon, man.
Well, another one lost to BG. All right, Ryan. All right, Joey. We'll get you out of here on this. A little bit of a fun question at the end of the interview. So, you have 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Down by 5. Joey Marousek, who do you want leading the drive? Phillip Rivers, Cam Newton, or Deshaun Watson? And I made it those three because everybody says Brady, Montana. I wanted those three. Phillip Rivers, Cam Newton, or Deshaun Watson?
I'm probably gonna have to go with Deshaun Watson. I think he's pretty electric and he can make some things happen, especially with DeAndre Hopkins, and then obviously he can run too. I'll take Deshaun Watson on that one.
Absolutely. There you go. Listen, Joey, thank you so much for taking time out of the evening, man. We appreciate it. We're proud of you, man, and we're glad to see you going on doing big things. We're going to try to get down to North Royalton and cover one of your games and follow you after your career at North Royalton. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support from you and your family. So tell them all we said thank you. We appreciate it, and you have a great night, okay?
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You got it. Joey Marousek, quarterback of the North Royalton Bears, University of Akron commit. BG, what the problem is?
I'm gonna have to talk to some recruiters at BG because they are missing out.
What the problem is, BG?
Absolute fine talent.
Now to say this, I will say because I said Ryan because I remember that Ryan Malloy went to Bowling Green. Ryan Malloy, who was quarterback for Avon last year, went to Bowling Green side. That's when he said they got their scholarship quarterback. I thought that might have been who he was talking about because Ryan Malloy from Avon went to BG as well. And that's not to say that Ryan's not talented because we had Ryan on our top 25 last year. But I mean,
you know me, I want everybody to come to Bowling Green.
You can never have two. I said in the first segment, you can never have too many good players on your squad. Just saying. But you know what though? But if Joey didn't feel that BG was all in on him, then he did the right thing.
Yeah.
He went to where because that's got to be important, man. You want to go in where you feel like I want them and they want me. And if you don't feel like they want you, there's no reason to go. I don't care if it's Ohio State, USC, whatever. If you feel like they only kind of halfway sort of maybe want you, don't even go. Because it's a waste of time because they're not going to, if they don't really want you, they're not going to be fully invested in you.
Right. Just like the Kelly Bryant situation when he was at Clemson.
Yep.
They didn't want him. They wanted Trevor Lawrence. So Kelly Bryant moved up, went to Missouri.
There you go.
He's at Missouri right now.
You got to go where they want you. And the folks, and to their credit, the folks at Akron, they made Joey feel like, hey, listen, man, we want you. And Joey felt that it was mutual, and he went to where he was wanted.
And he's closer to home, which makes his mom proud.
Absolutely, he's closer to home, and who knows? We're not in the meeting rooms there at Bowling Green. We don't know, or any of those other schools that he went to talk to. He said
meeting rooms at Bowling Green.
He said he had 15. He took 15 visits.
Wow,
that's a lot of interest. I mean, to be honest, I don't care if it was Division I, Division II, Division III, whatever. 15 schools is a lot of schools for one player.
Yes, it is.
Took 15 trips. But when you're talented enough, they'll find you. We always say on this show, if you have the talent, these colleges will find you. And no matter where it is, if they want to give you a scholarship to come and play for them, you need to take that scholarship. No matter if it's Division I, II, or III, you need to take that scholarship.
True, and your huddle tape. Please upload your huddle tape with your stats.
Yep, do that too.
And your grades. And your GPA.
It'd be nice if they did that. So Joey is where he's wanted. The Zips want him. And it would be really cool to see, once he can get in there. And he said he'll probably redshirt this season. This coming up season. Which is fine. Look, sit there, redshirt, and learn. Sit there and soak everything in and learn everything. And then that following season, like you said, get in there. Now I'm ready. I'm ready to battle. Let's go. And then may the best man win at that point.
Yeah, I mean Akron is a good program. They got one of the Bowden brothers down there.
Yeah.
It's not a bad program.
So I mean, listen, I think it's important that it's a good marriage between player and team. It's a good marriage between player and team. And Joey feels comfortable there, and so. You can't fault him for that. You can't be mad at him for that. If you want him to come to your school and he didn't come to your school, well, maybe your school didn't make him feel welcome enough. Akron did, and now he's at Akron. So be it. But this season, he's going to go out there and ball out for North Royalton and prove the folks at Akron right in their selection of him. And we're looking forward to that. I really want to get to know because North Royalton, we've never been to North Royalton to cover a game. So I'd really like to get to North Royalton this year and cover a game. And maybe meet and talk with Joey in person, and his family. And shout out to the Marousek family, man. They've been really supportive of what we've been doing here. So shout out to the Marousek family as well, the whole family. And we love to see that, man. When we recognize these young men on this show, and the family is we see that the family is all in and very supportive as well. We love seeing that. So shout out to the Marousek family, the Castleberry family, the Lowrys, absolutely the Lowrys, the
Porter family,
yep, the Porter family, the Paynes,
yep,
the Freilich family, the Dylan Freilich out of Eastlake. Shout out to the families, man. We really appreciate you guys being so supportive of what we're trying to do to support your athlete, your young man, the student athlete, young men and women.
Yep, that's your Rashid's family as well.
Yep, the Rashid family, the Barnes family.
Yep.
All these families that have been so supportive of our show. We really appreciate it. Even the family of John Coos from Massillon.
Mm-hmm.
So we really appreciate that, and we appreciate Joey coming on. So as we said, Browns got the win in the preseason over Washington, 30-10. Garrett Gilbert, I don't know. I mean, I guess he looked all right, right?
Yeah, he looked cool. But
okay.
The story here, I mean, the Browns look good. But again, this is the first preseason game. But Dwayne Haskins look. Ugh.
Yeah, Haskins didn't look that great. But again, it's preseason, man. You can't put too much stock in it. He did not look that great, but it's only the preseason.
Right.
So he could come out like gangbusters. I hope not, but he could come out like gangbusters in the regular season.
And Greedy Williams, that first play in the first half, where he blew his assignment. Yeah, you can't do that, bro.
This is what the preseason is for, though. Get all of that out while the games don't count.
But he also redeemed himself. The next play, he got an interception.
Yep.
So that's what Freddie Kitchens' motto is. He said, "I don't care what you did. The last play, you better have a short memory. Go out there and play football."
The preseason is for to me there are two main reasons for the preseason football. Number one, get all your mistakes out the way.
Absolutely.
Are you going to make mistakes in the regular season?
Yes.
But you want to make the majority of those mistakes during the preseason. Get them out the way. You're going to see who's mentally tough, who can handle it, who can make a mistake like Greedy, blow an assignment, blow a coverage, and then come back and get an interception. You want to see that. You want to see that mental toughness as well as the physical toughness. So get all your get your. I would say this: get your silly mistakes out of the way in the preseason.
Before that dress rehearsal.
Right. Get your silly mistakes out of the way. Get all that out of your system. And then the next one, and most importantly, get through without any major injuries.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm thinking about a preseason game, when I'm thinking about a preseason for the Eagles, my thing is, man, get out of the preseason without any major injuries.
Right.
Especially the number 11.
Right.
Even though I don't believe that the injury prone narrative that they want to slap on Carson Wentz, I don't believe that because I know he's played in about 40 or 48 games, so that you can't call somebody injury prone that's played in that many games. But whatever. Get all the silly mistakes out of your way. Get your assignments right, and get out of it without any major injuries. And I'm not wishing on it, but can you imagine if Baker got hurt in the preseason? I mean, could you just imagine how the air would just be let out of the balloon for the city?
Why do you think he only played 4 plays?
Well, the third game is the one. The third game is the one that scares me the most because it's the one where the starters play the most. And if I was a coach, I don't care if it's third game or not. Listen, man, some players, I'm just not playing that long. No. If I'm Doug Peterson, especially now that Nate Sudfeld broke his hand and he's out 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
And the back, Cody Kessler is our backup.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. If I'm Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz is on a pinch count. He's on a pitch count this preseason. Carson Wentz might play a couple of series every single game. I'm sorry. Because if I'm the Eagles, I cannot go into the regular season with Cody Kessler as my quarterback. Call Colin Kaepernick. Just saying. I can't. If I'm the Eagles, I'm not taking any chances. I would much rather if Carson Wentz is gonna get hurt, and I don't believe he will. But if he's gonna get hurt, I want him to do it in a game that counts. He got hurt in that Week 13 game against the Rams. That game counted big time, and then getting home field advantage for the playoffs. If he's going to get hurt, I'd rather him get hurt in a game like that. Don't get hurt in the preseason. So if I'm Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz is on a pitch count for every single preseason game. He might play a series or two. And I'm telling the lineman, if you give up a sack and you get Carson hit, you and me gonna have a talk, a long talk. And you better not be a backup. But why would you have Carson out there with the backups? I'm just saying. That's the main thing, man. Can you just imagine if Odell or Baker went down in the preseason?
Oh, wait, don't say that.
Knock on wood, yes. Knock on wood. Because I don't listen, and I'm not a huge fan of Baker Mayfield, but that's just me. But I wish him to get hurt. No, I was absolutely.
You're gonna do the wet blanket, man.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I'm not a huge fan of Baker Mayfield. I'm just not. I think his
Oh, you're talking about antics.
No, I think he tries too hard. I think he tries too hard. I think he tries too hard to be the cool guy, badass quarterback. I just think he tries too hard.
Yeah, he's our cool guy. He's our badass
that's fine.
quarterback. You
that's
just
fine.
leave that man alone.
He can be that. I just think he just tries too hard. I wish he would just play football, Eli. I wish he would just play football.
He does play football.
He tries.
You want to get into this right now?
He tries too hard.
Wow.
He tries too hard. Someone's like, if I keep doing crazy stuff, these people will like me even more. And you guys do. You guys, every time he does something crazy and ridiculous, you guys are like, yeah, Baker, all right. So, but it is what it is. But do I want Baker Mayfield to get hurt? Absolutely not. I think Baker Mayfield, even though I'm not a huge fan, I think Baker Mayfield's good for the National Football League. He's good for Cleveland. He's bringing attention and spotlight to Cleveland. So I think he's good for it. But am I a huge fan of the antics? No, I'm not. But I'm a little bit old school in my thinking. I don't mind celebrating and all that kind of stuff, but I got turned off the Baker Mayfield with the whole Hugh Jackson thing. It's like, all right, dude, okay, enough, we get it. So, all right, so let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll come back at 8:00 from the St. Edwards Eagles. Lawson Nash will join us. Looking forward to talking to Lawson. Then at 8:30 from the Jackson Polar Bears, Jake Ryan will be on. So we got 2 more guests left in the show. We'll take a break. We'll come back. And we'll get into it. Eli, what's the name of the song?
The name of the song is called Bankroll by KM Beats. This is the Choir Brothers Sports Show on One Unit Media Network.
Joey Marousek, thank you.
Purchase your tracks today.
Welcome back to the show. Lawson, Nash in just a few minutes. So I wanted to just start to touch on something here before Lawson comes on. This whole thing with Antonio Brown in Oakland with the helmet.
I was thinking about you, yesterday. I was like, what is he gonna say today?
You know what, man? I was leaning one way with it, but then I flipped, and I'm leaning the other way. At first, I was like, "Oh my God, this dude! Like, what is wrong with this dude?" But then I saw his interview with Darryl Ravel, and I was like, he was like, I don't need the NFL. I'm good. I want the game, but I don't need the game. I thought that was a very important statement he made. I want the game, but I don't need the game. And I think that a lot of you guys should almost have that mentality in your head. I want the game, but I don't need the game. Because at some point in your life, the game might be there. It might not be there. Be it after high school or be it after college, the game might not be there for you anymore. Mm-hmm. And if the game is something that you need instead of something that you want, that could be a problem. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely I like what he was saying. I liked what AB said. I want the game, but I don't need the game. Make that your mentality. You can want the game. You can even love the game. But if you need it, if you need the game of football to be like, to feel like you are somebody or to feel important, that's a problem. Because for a lot of you, after high school or even after college, the game may not be there for you anymore. So you need to make sure you have something else other than the game of football. Like the game of football, you shouldn't need the game of football to make you feel like you are somebody, to make you feel like you're important. You shouldn't need the game of football for that. And I think that's really what Antonio Brown is saying. Now we could go a whole different direction on the helmet thing, but I think that's what AB is saying. I think that's the mentality that a lot of young people should have about the game of football. Want the game, but don't need the game. And to me, I like that. I liked what he was saying. Lawson Nash coming up here in just a little bit. But, look, this is Antonio Brown. This is who he is. And the Oakland Raiders, I'm sure, knew that when they took on his contract. Mm-hmm. And if they didn't know, shame on the Oakland Raiders. But as usual, if there's any team that Antonio Brown is going to fit in with and do this kind of stuff, it's the Oakland Raiders. Soon to be Las Vegas Raiders.
That still sounds weird.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it kind of has a nice ring to it. Las Vegas Raiders. I think it kind of has a nice ring to it. They're going to have a dope stadium out there. Seriously.
It was a hotel attached.
Right. So,
excuse me.
Me personally, I was going to go one way with it, with Antonio Brown, and I have totally switched gears. Totally. I am all for Antonio Brown. All right, so we'll get back to that. Joining us right now on the phone line, he is a defensive back for the St. Edward Eagles. He helped lead them to the Division I state championship last season. His name is Lawson Nash. He joins us right now on the show. Lawson, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine, man. Thanks for taking time out of the evening to join us. I know you guys are getting ready to go back to class. When do you guys go back, Lawson?
No problem.
When do you guys go back?
We actually start the 22nd, so it'll be a Thursday in a
Okay.
couple weeks.
Man, my kid's the only one to start next week. I don't know. All right, so let's get right into it, Lawson. So now, like I said, you helped lead St. Ed's to the Division I state championship last year. Talk about the prestige that comes with playing for St. Ed's, and does that prestige add any pressure for you as a player?
I would say that there is a lot of prestige that goes with playing at Eds. I know that we've had a tradition of excellence, especially in this last decade, starting in 2010. But even through the first decade of the 21st century, I know that there was a lot of success from Eds. So I think just coming to Eds and trying to build on that is a big duty, and you usually have big shoes to fill when it comes to that. So I don't think there's added pressure. I think there's just pressure in of itself, just trying to keep that tradition of excellence going. So I think that it's a good thing to have because it pushes you to be the best that you can be, and it's also great when you're able to live up to it as well.
Now, what is the mentality that you have to possess as a safety to record 150 tackles to go along with your 6 interceptions? Like when you go on that field, is it like a Brian Dawkins type thing where you're one person off the field, and when you get on that field, it just kind of switches and you just go into like beast mode? Is that how it is for you?
I think that a big thing about playing safety is having a short memory. Any DB really has to have a short memory because, I mean, there's going to be tackles that you miss. There's going to be balls that you get caught on you and stuff like that. So I think that, having that short-term memory is a great thing to have, but also just being aggressive and knowing that you're having the confidence in yourself to be able to do the things that you need to do. Manning up a receiver all game who is quick, who can be, explosive, and being able to take down big running backs and stuff like that. That's just the mentality that I have, and the confidence that I have in myself to be able to do those sort of things.
Now I know you guys already have some great players there, but do your coaches ever, maybe want you to kind of come down into the box and play a little safety, a la John Lynch, anything like that? Do they ever ask you to do a lot of that?
Depending on who we're playing that week, if they're a more passing heavy team or a more running team, just depends on how they'll play certain guys in our defense. I know that last year there were certain teams that we played where we wanted to stack the box a little bit more because they were, more of a 21 personnel team, 2 backs, 1 tight end. So they wanted to stop the run, and they were more focused on that. But there's also teams who run a lot of spread who, we wanted to man up on the outside a little bit more. And I think that's where the versatility comes in with certain guys playing on the field. And I think that's something that I really excel at.
Now, here's the most important thing that I wanted to talk to you about. A perfect score on an SAT is 1,600. You scored a 1,420 on your
Yes,
SAT.
Sir.
Number one, just props, mad respect for that. That's ridiculously crazy, and we're really proud of you for that. Can you talk about the emphasis that you put on academics and how it feels if that kind of rubs off on the people around you, that you are that into your studies as one of the leaders on the football team?
I think that it serves me well being well versed in the academic world, and it's something that I've been focused on my entire life. My parents have always driven me to be not just an athlete, but a student athlete. So I think that it kind of goes along with the territory, and being at St. Ed's, I think that they push you to be excellent in anything that you do, not just sports, not just in the classroom, but anything. I think we're diverse in that way when it comes to those sort of things, and I think that it does serve me well being mentally acute when it comes to playing defensive back and playing on a complicated defense that we play. So I think that academics is a big part of my life, and life after football will serve me longer than football will. So I think it's something that I focus on a lot, and I try to do my best in anything that I do, really.
Now, at our last check, you had gotten, I believe, over 10 offers from colleges wanting you to come and play for them. What things do you look for while you're deciding what school do you want to attend? Are there certain things that you look for in a school?
I think that if I had to make a checklist, I would say that academics does come first. Wherever I would want to go, I want it to be somewhere that has that sort of standard, that sort of pedigree that will help me later in life. Because, like I said, life after football is a lot longer than this football career that I have going. So I think that that's probably definitely number one. But also, I do want to play somewhere where the level of football is competitive. So I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. Um, and especially with a lot of the offers that I have, they reflect those type of standards. So um, I think that that those type of things make my decision easier.
Now, I know that Yale was one of the schools that you received an offer from. Any other of those, Ivy League schools of Yale's ilk that have offered you? Can you speak on that?
I think that uh, early on in the process, they visit our schools and stuff like that, and they look at the grade point averages and the test scores and things of that nature. And they, when you have test scores and GPAs that stick out, it's they're you're pretty easy to find. And then that's the one thing that I think sets you apart. And then when you also have great film, when you play for a winning team like St. Ed's, and you're on that type of pedestal, on that type of team, I think that those Ivy League schools just kind of flock to you a little bit. And they're always great opportunities, and who could possibly turn down interest from an Ivy League school, because those are some of those most competitive schools in the country.
Now, because we it's almost like a tradition on the show. We pretty much ask this question of all the young men that come on. We do have a gentleman on our staff here that's a Bowling Green alum. Have you had any contact with Bowling Green? Are they in the picture for your services? Anything like that with Bowling Green?
I think that I may have talked to a Bowling Green coach this past spring, possibly. And then you, of course, get a lot of recruiting mail,
Mm-hmm.
and you get emails and stuff like that. So, but in particular and specifically, I don't think that I've talked a lot to Bowling Green, but I think that I have had a little bit of contact with them.
All right, so now you won the state championship last season. Obviously, how do you guys as a team keep that hunger and that motivation to repeat? How do you guys keep that going?
I think especially for a guy like me and a lot of the guys on our team who were juniors last year, I think that we saw a lot of the seniors who won, um, and who from the year prior to that, we saw the disappointment when we lost in the playoffs to Mentor in
Right.
2017. I think that fire that we have to kind of go out on top is one of the biggest motivating factors, because we saw the guys last year how glorious it was really to see them go out on top. And I think one ring is good, and we can always say that we were a big part of that, but at the same time, we want to go out on top just like they did. So, and, it's always that chase to try to do it again, to prove that you're deserving of where you're supposed to be. Because I think it also goes along with the territory that a lot of people they doubt you, and they don't think that it was a real thing that you did. So I think getting that second one and being able to go out on top, it it really drives you every day to try to do that.
All right, Lawson, we'll get you out of here on this last question. What is the best part about playing with your brother Logan?
I think it's something that I've gotten used to. I've played with him for a long time, my entire life. So I think that it kind of passes on me a little bit sometimes, but at the same time, there's twins that I know that aren't interested in the same things, that are complete opposites.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a blessing for me and him to be interested in the same things and being at that same high level of academics, sports, just interested in the same things. So I would say that the best thing is just being out there with him, being able to compete at a high level with someone who you love and you're going to be in contact with your entire life. And, you almost have a built-in friend at birth, and it helps when you're interested in the same things. And, you have that sort of camaraderie on the field as well. He plays corner and I play safety, so we line up on the same side sometimes, and, we really just get after it and we get to work.
Wow, fantastic. Listen, Lawson, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, man. Listen, we're proud of you. Whatever way you go, man, be it in the academic field or the athletic field, you're going to do just fine. I don't have any doubt about that. And again, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing,
Sure.
man. We hope to see you guys this season, okay?
Thank you.
All right, young brother. Have a good one. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Lawson Nash of the St. Edward Eagles. A perfect score on the SAT is 1,600. That young man got a 1420, and I believe his GPA is 4.2 or 4.3.
My God.
And did you hear what he said about how he is basically in tune with the reality that at some point sports will not be there for him. And so he's preparing himself for life after sports, be that by his own choosing or by another incident happening. He's preparing himself for life after sports. And I think it's very important, and it sounds like his parents have him on the right path and the right mindset to basically say, look, son, get in those books and stay in those books. Because, yeah, the football is nice and it's great that you excel in football, but you're going to need something after that. And he could be another, he could be another Brian Banks situation. Or maybe he decides, I'm going to go over to England to be a Rhodes Scholar.
Myron Roll.
Oh, I said Brian Banks. I meant Myron Roll. Sorry, I don't know why I had Brian Banks in my mind. I meant I meant Myron Roll. Sorry. But it could be a situation like that, where after high school he just says, you know what, I think I want to do this. I think I want to get into the medical field. I think I want to do this. I want to be, maybe I want to be, a biologist or something like. You know what I mean? It could be anything.
Well, Craig Krenzel. Remember Craig Krenzel?
Yeah.
Right? Molecular genetics.
Yes. Craig Krenzel majored in molecular genetics while being the starting quarterback at Ohio State. Do you know what kind of a workload he probably had on his shoulder?
Oh, my God.
He was the starting quarterback for Ohio State, and he was studying to major in molecular genetics.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. But he did it. It can be done. You just got to commit to it. 1420 on the SAT. Perfect score is 1,600. That's just amazing. And in and of itself, that is amazing. And his brother is just as smart as he is. I don't know if his brother's, I don't remember what his brother's SAT score was. But I know his brother had just about the same GPA. I believe right around 4.2, 4.3, something like that. So both of those young men have academics squarely in focus, and they're good to go. And so, you can't really go wrong either way. So we appreciate Lawson joining us on the show. At 8:30, Jake Ryan of the Jackson Polar Bears will join us. It'll be our last interview for the night. Told you, man, we was loaded today.
Not know.
So the Indians come up on the Twins. They won 7-3. I think Santana hit a grand slam or something like that.
Yeah, actually.
So they're up. So they're what up? What, one game on the Twins in the standings?
I'm gonna check right now.
Yeah. And again, we were talking earlier in the first segment of the show how, yes, it is nice it's nice that the Indians are there, but let's see
tied.
more.
They're
Okay, so they're tied with the Twins because the Twins beat them the other night, right? I think the Twins beat them last night, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. Something happened where they're tied.
Twins beat them yesterday.
And then they won today.
Yeah.
So this thing is going to go down to the wire, man. Unless one of these teams has an epic collapse, this thing is going to go down to the wire between the Twins and the Indians. Because we're already at August 12th. August 11th, excuse me, not August 12th.
Man, what is wrong with you today, man?
Bruh.
You know it's hard to get dates, man. It's hard to get dates sometimes. August 11th. Even though I got my phone here, it's hard to get dates.
And
right
you got the phone in your hand.
Well, yeah, but I didn't have the calendar up. I was just trying to guess. So they're tied. Both teams are 71 and 47.
Let me check out the Twins' schedule next.
Yeah. In their last 10, the Indians are 8-2 in their last 10. Twins are 5-5. So if I'm looking at the American League standings right now, I'm seeing the Yankees, who are leading their division by 8.5. The Indians and Twins are tied at the top of the Central. Houston is leading the AL West by 10 games.
Well, you knew that was going to happen. They're going to run away.
So if I'm looking at this, we're looking at seeing if we got what, one. Hold on, let me see. All right, so we've got. So what we get? What do we say? 3 division winners and a wild card.
No, it's 2 wild cards.
2 wild cards. Okay, so we've got the Indians, the Yankees, and the Astros. And then for the wild card, you're probably looking at Tampa Bay and either Oakland or Boston. Most likely Oakland, if I'm looking at this correct. Oakland is 67 and 51. Boston is 62 and 58. Tampa Bay 69 and 50.
So I got Minnesota's schedule up.
Oh, Minnesota will be the other wild card. What am I talking about?
Right.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I got Minnesota's schedule up. So they have at Milwaukee for a 2-game series. 4-game series against the Texas Rangers. August 19th, they have a 3-game series with the White Sox. Then they go to Detroit for a 3-game. Then the White Sox. Then the Detroit Tigers. Then they go to Boston. Then they play us 3 times starting on September the 6th. They go to the Nationals next.
Okay.
They got the Nationals at home, actually. And they got us at home at their place. September 13th, they got another series with us at our place. Starting September the 16th, they have the White Sox, then the Royals, then the Tigers, and then they finish up with the Royals.
So we play them 2 more times before the season is over.
Exactly.
Okay. So we play them 2 more times before the season's over. So when we're not playing the Twins, we're gonna have to take care of our business. And let me see here. So we just finished a series with the Twins. So now next we are home against Boston starting tomorrow. Home against Boston. Then we are at the Yankees for 4. Wow. That's going to be an important series. So we're home against Boston for 3, and then we're at the Yankees for 4. Then we're at the Mets for 3.
Right, we got a tough schedule.
So we're going to be New Yorked out for about a week or so. 4 at the Yankees, 4 at the Mets. And then we come home on August 23rd for the Kansas City Royals for 3 with the Royals. Then at Detroit for 3, at Tampa Bay for 3. That could be a pivotal series. Home for 4 against the White Sox. Then we're at Minnesota for those 3. Starting September the 6th. Then we're at the Angels. Then we're back home for 3 on September 13th, Friday the 13th. We're at home. And then we're home against Detroit. Home against the Phillies. So we got a 9-game homestand between September 13th and September 22nd. 3 at home against the Twins, 3 at home against Detroit, 3 at home against the Phillies. You gonna be all right, brother? Yeah. And then we're at Chicago for 3, and then we finish up the season at Washington. So we have a very important schedule coming up here within the next month. Between now and August 23rd is going to be very important. Between now and the 23rd of August. It's going to be a very important schedule for us.
Absolutely.
3 against Boston, at the Yankees, at the Mets. And I'm not sure what the Mets schedule is. I don't think it's that great. But these are still games that we have to have. We have to have these games. That 4-game series against the Yankees, if the Yankees somehow sweep us that 4-game series, that's bad news unless the Twins keep losing. We got to at least split that. We got to at least split it. At least. So I mean, we got some important ones coming up between now and the end of the month. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta have it. We gotta have it. Puig looks like he's fitting in well with the squad.
Yep.
I believe you called that, did you not?
I did.
You did call that. Oh, you can get a Puigland T-shirt. How about that?
Oh, they're making them already?
Puigland, yep. How long is he under contract? Is he under contract just for this season, or is he
just for this season? He's a rental.
Okay, I'm not buying a Puigland shirt then. Sorry. Not doing. And I like Yasiel Puig. I've liked Yasiel Puig ever since he's been up to Dodgers. I have no problem with Yasiel Puig. He even dyed his hair red. I like that. Okay, Yasiel.
What if he wants to stay in Cleveland?
Fine. Sign him. Sign him up. Sign him up. I'm a fan of Yasiel Puig. But I'm not doing that until he actually signs the contract. Not buying a Puigland T-shirt. But we got some important series coming up. Very important series coming up. So, all right, let's do this. Let's get out. We'll come back at 8:30 from the Jackson Polar Bears. Wide receiver Jake Ryan is going to join us. So we'll come back, man. We'll chop it up with Jake. Final interview of the night. I'm looking forward to talking to him. So let's go ahead and get out. Eli, what is the name of the song?
The name of the song is called Party Dance by Cleveland's own Deja the Artist and Minister Savage. This is the Quad Brothers Sports Show on One Union Media Network.
Jake Ryan, 8:30.
Turn up to the max. Bottles we turn up till we collapse. Move to the music, I'm making ones clap. Certified banger, so work to the track. Women is fine and they choosing it flies. 2 girls blazing, I'm shooting my shots with no pistols, no fighting, just parties that rock. Used to be shit on to bar 4 o'clock. I'm in the zone, yes, I'm feeling myself. This is he, feel out of breath. Me and my haters, we blowing a killer boy, and we just listen to killer to death. Music got me in a damn trance. I'm so geeked up till a DJ. Put this here on repeat. Doing it B.I.G. and VIP. Boys from shots with the free is on me. Hang up your chick and she leaving with me, but I'm chasing my paper and living my dream. Work hard over time every weekend, no sleep on the weekend. I sit back and think, just think about the fun of my eye when I'm smoking and drinking and partying with up my hoe. Me.
We gon' party, we gon' dance, dance, dance. dance, dance. We gon' party, we gon' dance, 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 dance. Move your body, clap your hands, 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 hands. We gon' party, we gon' dance, we gon' party, we gon' dance, we gon' party, we gon' dance, 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 dance. We gon' party, we gon' dance, 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 dance. Music got me in a trance, 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 trance. We gon' party, we gon' dance, we gon' party, we gon' dance. I just wanna party, I just wanna dance. Ladies, move your bodies, fellas, clap your hands. I just wanna party, I just wanna dance. Ladies, move your bodies, fellas, clap your hands. I just wanna party, I just wanna dance. Ladies, move your bodies, fellas, clap your hands. I just wanna party, I just wanna dance. Ladies, move your bodies, fellas, clap your hands. We gon' party, we gon' dance, 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 dance. We gon' party, we gon' dance, 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 dance. Move your body, clap your hands, 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 hands. We gon' party, we gon' dance, we gon' party, we gon' dance, we gon' party, we gon' dance, 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 dance. We gon' party, we gon' dance, 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 dance. Music got me in a trance, 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 trance. We gon' party, we gon' dance, we gon' party, we gon' dance.
Welcome back to the show. Last half hour, Jake Ryan calling in just a couple of minutes. We'll talk to Jake. So I was looking at this story out of Detroit, I believe, for a receiver, Rahman Yassin, who is a commit to Northwestern, but his senior year at high school in Michigan, Walled Lake Western High School, is in jeopardy because he took too many classes.
What?
So basically, according to his coach, so he was homeschooled prior to arriving at Walled Lake Western as a freshman in 2016. So according to his coach said, quote, so when he came in as a freshman, they counted him as a sophomore, and then they changed it but never said anything, end quote. That was what his coach said, his head coach at the school. So he basically, if I'm understanding this correctly, he took too many credits above his grade level. And they treated it, and his coach said, quote, well, they treated it as him getting held back and not fixing his grade. So his high school clock started the year before high school. I mean, seriously, can we figure? So you're going to make him ineligible for that because he took too many credits?
Bruh.
Yeah. I don't know, and I'm not going to sit here and be, you know, all holier than thou and whatnot. But you're going to try to hold the kid back from taking. Now, if he wasn't taking enough classes, I can see that. You're going to hold him back for not taking too many? I mean, for taking too many? Something about that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
something about that would make it, to me, it would almost seem like it would just be an easy fix, right? Like it would be, okay, oh, this is what happened. Oh, he was homeschooled. Okay. Oh, we can go ahead and change that, and there we go. It would seem that would be the way you would go about that. And make it so the young man can be eligible. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not punish a young man for taking too many classes. That doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. And ironically, this time it's not the NCAA. It's his high school. To Northwestern's credit, they said, look, we got the kids back 100%. We got it. So basically, he may miss his senior year in high school over this. Which just doesn't sit right. It doesn't sit right with me. Again, I don't know everything. All right. So we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that story later. Right now, join us on the phone line. He's a wide receiver for the Jackson Polar Bears and the newest commit of Colgate University. His name is Jake Ryan. He joins us now on the show. Jake, how you doing, my man?
Hey, good. How you doing?
Doing fine, man. Thanks for taking time out of your evening, man, to join us. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me out here.
No problem. So let's get right into it. So talk about, Jake, the importance of you as a senior being a leader on your team. Talk about the importance of that and how you embrace that role.
You know, senior year, you have to bring the guys together, especially in the Federal League. You know, it's a grind. And being a 3-year starter now for the Polar Bears. Being able just to have that experience and that confidence. You got to corral the troops. You got to get everybody together just so, they understand what they have to do and being able to get the job done this year. I mean, the Federal League is a goal. Get that Federal League title. We want to kind of have like the same idea that we had 2 years ago going into it. We got that spread concept, and being a team leader this year is going to be crucial because we need guys who can step up and lead us.
Now we had Joey Marousek on a little bit earlier. We talked about the chemistry between a quarterback and a wide receiver from the quarterback's point of view. What about from the wide receiver's point of view? What is the importance of you and your quarterback being on the same page?
Oh yeah, especially this year because we have a lot of read routes where my quarterback's gonna have to convert me just based off of pre-snap reads, and we have a route where I can run a comeback or a fade if we're on the same page, and that could be a pick six. So I mean, we work on it every single day in practice, and just to get that chemistry and get that confidence in each other is very crucial. Now,
you guys finished 6-4 last season. What do you guys have to do this season to kind of build on that and progress it and get that win total up a little bit? I'm sure that's what you guys want to do. How do you do that?
Personally, I think last year our team culture wasn't where it needed to be. I think we need to pull together as one this year, and if we do that, I feel like we're going to have a better chance of winning. We need to play as one, and our team motto this year is we, not me. You got to play as a team, not for yourself. And I think if we do that, then we're going to have a greater chance of being more successful this year.
Now, you guys are going to have some pretty tough games coming up on the schedule. You're going to be at Hoover the last week of the season, and then Akron East right out of the gate. But Akron East is at home, and then you guys are at home against McKinley, so you get the advantage of being at home. But you guys have some tough games on that schedule. Is there any one game that you're looking forward to in particular?
Always open up with the East is going to be difficult because how athletic they usually are. And, I mean, it's a good test to open up with a team like that. If we can beat them, then we're going to have great momentum going into the season. And then Perry is always a great test, too. If we can beat that wing team, Coach Wakefield, he's always doing a great job over there. And obviously McKinley, they're always usually in the top of the Federal League with Perry, and now Hoover's coming up, too. And Hoover being that big rivalry game, that's always going to be like our biggest game. That's from preseason lifting. That's all we have in our minds is Hoover, and I would love to get the chance to beat them on their field again.
Nice. Now, in your opinion, Jake, as a receiver, besides being able to run the right route, because that's obvious, what's the most important trait you have to have as a receiver?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that again?
I said, in your opinion, as a receiver, besides being able to run the right route, because that's obvious, what's the most important trait that you have to have as a wide receiver, in your opinion?
Being able to block downfield for your running backs, too, because I think the receivers are able to spring a lot of big runs if they're able to block downfield. And that's what I worked on my game this year, because last year I wasn't the best blocker. And I feel like if we have run plays and I can get a block downfield to spring him, then that could be really crucial. And also, as a receiver, you got to know, I feel like this year I'm going to be double teamed a lot more. So just by running my right routes and running them hard every single time, sometimes knowing I'm not even going to get the ball, it's going to open up some other guys to get the ball. And by doing that, we're going to open up the run game some more. So I think those are two pretty crucial things that you have to do as a receiver.
Absolutely. Jake Ryan from Jackson High School is our guest. So, Jake, can you talk about your family and how much your support has helped you get to this point? I know we can see that they support you 1,000%. Can you talk about that and how that's helped you get to this point?
Yeah. Actually, believe it or not, my dad used to coach at Perry for Coach Wakefield. So, I mean, he's always been a big football guy.
Yes.
And my mom, she played college basketball. My dad played college football and college baseball. So, I mean, they've always been into athletics, and they've always supported me. Just by, in my youth, my dad always taking me to travel baseball games and doing all that, paying for the hotels and such. And now I took me when I was younger to all the route running and everything I could do when I was a quarterback, and I actually had to try to be a quarterback. But their support is crucial for me. I feed off of that, and I really do appreciate them for everything they do for me.
Now, how do you, Jake, how do you balance being as good or better academically as you are athletically?
It's a struggle. I just have to do a lot of studying, a lot of late nights, and I just got to stay on top of things. I have to stay focused on when in season it's just football and academics. Nothing else. I still have a social life and everything, but my two main goals have to be academics and football.
Now, can you talk about? We asked Joey this as well, so we'll ask you to get your perspective. Can you talk about the recruiting process? I know that's done, it's out of the way, and that's got to be a relief for you. But talk about that process. Was it very stressful for you guys, or was it kind of smooth sailing? How'd that go?
Everybody says you got to enjoy the process, but I was pretty stressed out during the whole thing. It started off pretty slow for me. It really picked up after my junior season, and started off slow. Like, I got invited to some junior days. I had some coaches coming in, and then all of a sudden I started getting some Patriot League offers and some Ivy League offers. And once I got that first offer in my back pocket, I kind of calmed down a little bit, and I was able to appreciate what was going on and actually enjoy the process. But when I didn't have anything, I was pretty stressed out.
Now, you have committed to Colgate. What was it about Colgate that made you decide that was where you wanted to be, that was where you're comfortable, and that's where you wanted to call home?
Well, personally, the academics played a big part in it, because I know that I'm not going to be able to play football for the rest of my life, but I'm always going to need a great education. And there's an expiration date to football, but there's not an expiration date to an education. And the fact that they're going to pay the full way for that, that was just too good of an opportunity to pass up on. And they've also been on top of their league for the past, I think 3 out of the last 5 years they've won their league.
Mm-hmm.
And I took 2 visits there, and on my first visit I was just I was in awe at how beautiful the campus was, and it just felt like home for me. And, sometimes when you take your visits, you're going around. Some places click for you and some don't, and that one just felt like home.
Now, did they say anything about are you gonna be redshirting your first year? Are you gonna go right into the lineup right away? Have they talked to you about that at all?
Yeah, actually they talked to me about it, and they think they're expecting me to come in and compete for a starting role as a freshman.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about that, because this year they graduated 6 receivers, and that's the one spot they needed to fill up. So they're expecting me to come in and compete for a spot.
All right, Jake, we'll get you out of here on this last question. For those that may be those fans at Colgate that may be listening to this interview now or listen to it in the future, tell the fans at Colgate. I said for the fans at Colgate that either are listening to the interview now or may be listening in the future, tell the fans at Colgate exactly what they're getting in Jake Ryan.
What they're seeing in me, they're seeing a dude who's all for the team. He's going to play for everyone else, not himself. And you're going to see an ultimate competitor, someone who just hates losing, and someone who just despises it and won't lose.
Listen, Jake, man, thank you so much for coming on and taking time out of your evening, and we really appreciate it. We appreciate the support from your family. We want to get down to cover one of your games definitely this season. That McKinley game looks awful good, so we'll try to get down and see you guys, man. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem, Jake. Have a good night, man. Take care.
You too.
Jake Ryan of the Jackson Polar Bears and Colgate University. Shout out, man. I remember, I think that might have been, I think that was either me and you, Eli, or me and Phil that went to Mayfield. Turn your mic on.
That was me and you.
Okay. So that was me and Eli that were at Mayfield. And we were there. Shout out to Mayfield, man. We were there, as guests of Mayfield. We were covering Jackson's game against Mayfield. And, we were looking at the young man from
Tyler Tiggs.
Right, Tyler Tiggs from Mayfield. Looking at Tyler Tiggs. Shout out, Tyler. What's up, man? Shout out to the whole Tiggs family. So we were looking at there to kind of, scout and cover Tyler Tiggs. And out of nowhere, man, it's like, who is number 12 for Jackson, who was just beasting all over this defense? Jake Ryan had a great game that night against Mayfield, and that put him on our radar.
Mm-hmm.
And it just continued. Phenomenal talent at wide receiver, and Colgate has done well to bring him into the fold. And you heard what he said. They want him to compete for a starting job right out the gate. They want him to compete for a starting job. That's how you know that a school is really like, listen, we got to get him in here. They want him to compete from day one. Last year, 58 receptions, 1,090 yards, 9 touchdowns. They want him to compete from day one. And that's good for him. That's good for him.
It is.
Get in there and get competing right away. And he's right. Colgate has had some success in that league. And he can only add to it. So we appreciate Jake, man. And again, we appreciate the whole Ryan family, man. They've been really supportive of us, And we appreciate Jake and his whole family for coming on the show. So I wanted to, number one, just thank you to all the young men that came on tonight.
Absolutely.
Joey Marousek, Lawson, Nash, and now Jake Ryan. Thank you to all three of you guys for taking time out of your night. We really appreciate you guys supporting us. So I want to kind of switch gears just a little bit, but still stay on the NCAA thing. So now, the NCAA.
Oh boy, what did they do now?
So the NCAA has instituted this new rule that is widely regarded, and in my opinion as well. It's called the Rich Paul rule.
Oh boy,
you know Rich Paul.
Mm-hmm.
So Rich Paul is the agent for LeBron James and a few other very prominent athletes. Rich Paul is LeBron's childhood friend. So the NCAA is tightening its certification guidelines for those people who want to be agents and represent college athletes. And included in that tightening up is that you have to have a degree to be an agent.
What?
Yes. I'm trying to find the actual rules here. Hold on, I'm trying to find the rules of. Let me see, because I know one of them has to. I know one of them is a college degree. Let me try to find the actual rules here. I'll pull it up. Hold on 1 second here.
To be a sports agent,
to be an agent, you have to have a degree. Let me see. See if I can find it here. But it's like you have to have a degree. You have to be certified by the NCAA. Let me see. Hold on here. I'm trying to pull it up, and I apologize. I didn't have it up before. But it's basically people are calling it the Rich Paul rule. So let's see. So okay, so yeah, it does require a bachelor's degree. So you have to have a bachelor's degree now to be an agent. So you can't just be some schmo off the streets and not have a degree, which I don't understand that at all.
Well, I kind of do.
Okay, state your case.
I mean, you gotta have the know-how, and I mean, you just can't come off the street and become a agent and whatnot.
Rich Paul did it.
Yeah. I mean, Rich Paul is the advantage. I mean, because he's LeBron James's friend, but.
No, Rich Paul. I think Rich Paul. He's a LeBron James fan, but LeBron James hasn't been holding Rich Paul's hand through this whole thing. Rich Paul has done all of this, a lot of this. Yeah, is he LeBron's friend? Yes. But Rich Paul has basically helped build up Clutch on his own. LeBron, I'm sure, has had some input on it, but Rich Paul is coming to his own as an agent. And LeBron James isn't Rich Paul. Rich Paul has some powerful clients.
Also, you need to be certified too as a sports agent. Yeah, along with the.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. This rule. So here's the players that Rich Paul represents: LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Draymond Green, John Wall, Ben Simmons, Darius Garland, the Cavaliers' Darius Garland, and Darius Bazley. So the new regulations require that agents interested in representing players who are considering declaring for the NBA draft now must have a bachelor's degree, be certified with the National Basketball Players Association for at least 3 years, and take a comprehensive in-person exam at NCAA headquarters in Indianapolis.
that's complete baloney.
The biggest issue with this rule is that it does not apply. This is not an across the board thing. So if you play, let's say you play soccer in the NCAA, and you want to go to the MLS, anybody can represent you. They don't have to have a degree.
Are you serious?
This applies to basketball and football. Now, think about major pro college sports and think about the demographic of players in basketball and football in the NCAA.
African American.
Young black men. And I know people are going to say, why are you going to the race card? Look, man, some things are just obvious. Because if they really cared, they would do this across the board. You're a soccer player, you want to go to the declare you want to go to the MLS? We're going to need you to have an agent that has these same criteria. Why is it not the same across the board? Why is this only for basketball and football? Is my question. That's what I want to know. This is only, honestly, these are the two biggest money makers for college basketball, for college sports. And these are the two sports where you will find predominantly black players. I wish I had the numbers on how many black agents there actually are out there. But I don't. But these rules, these criteria, this stipulation, no doubt this is because of Rich Paul, because Rich Paul has become very powerful. Rich Paul has heavy hitters on his roster as far as clients are concerned. One of the heaviest. Rich Paul may be the most influential agent in basketball today. Now, I don't believe this means that Rich Paul can no longer be an agent. Or maybe it does. I'll have to look and see. But it's obvious what the NCAA, to me, it's obvious what the NCAA is trying to do here.
Yeah, if I'm going down the Forbes list, sports agents, they have their ranked top 50.
Uh-huh.
I counted only 4.
Exactly. So here's a list of people who... So Rich Paul did not graduate from college. Here's a list of other people who did not graduate from college. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Ted Turner, Ellen DeGeneres, Larry Ellison, Henry Ford. Just to name a few. People who did not graduate from college but became immensely successful. You can just stop at Steve Jobs and Bill Gates right there. That's it. You can just stop right there. Ted Turner. You know TBS, Ted Turner? The guy who owns the Atlanta Braves, Ted Turner? That Ted Turner did not graduate from college. Ellen DeGeneres. I mean, come on. Ellen DeGeneres did not graduate from college. So basically what this means for Rich Paul is any underclassmen who want to come out cannot be represented by Rich Paul. Because Rich Paul does not have these certifications and this bachelor's degree. Now, could he go get it? Yeah, he could. He could. But I just have a problem with it because of the sport that it affects. So basically, and again, I'm not saying that a white agent is going to do a black player wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, if so let's say somebody like Zion was coming out this year, okay? And Zion wants to have somebody that he came up with that he really, really trusts, that he's got almost like a family bond with, to represent him and help him navigate this career now he's going to be embarking on. Zion can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
If that person doesn't have a bachelor's degree and his certification for 3 years and all the other things that the NCAA wants, Zion can't do that. So Zion has to go outside of somebody in his immediate circle that he actually trusts to now handle all of his affairs. His money, endorsements. Well, his accountant will probably handle his money, but endorsements and things like that, career opportunities for Zion has to be now handled by someone that he may not even really know that well.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand why the NCAA is doing this. Like, what is the reason for this? I don't understand it. How does the NCAA... I'm just wondering how the NCAA, how they came to this conclusion. Is Rich Paul really that powerful? Does Rich Paul scare you guys in some way?
I think he does.
Let me take a look here because I believe I found a story where the NCAA responded basically to. Okay, so basically, it says that the NCAA issued a response. Okay, here is the NCAA's response. Quote: although some can and have been successful without a college degree, as a higher education organization, the NCAA values a college education and continues to emphasize the importance of earning a degree. We were guided by recommendations from the Commission on College Basketball, which spoke with the agent and advisor community, that the NCAA certification process should be more stringent than current processes. With this in mind, we benchmarked our new rules against requirements for other organizations that certify agents. Like the NBPA, the National Basketball Players Association, which also requires agents to have a bachelor's degree, we recognize, and they put this in bold, we recognize they and others provide discretionary waivers to the degree requirement. While different and distinct, our rules taken together, which is the manner they were meant to be examined, provide a clear opportunity for our student athletes to receive excellent advice from knowledgeable professionals on either the college or professional path they choose, end quote. That's a bunch of BS.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Translation. We don't like the fact that Rich Paul came in here with no college degree and basically turned everything upside down. Rich Paul came in, turned everything upside down, and now he's got more power than ever. And we don't want to see other players doing this. We want to control who represents these players. We didn't control it before, we want to control it now. And I can't say that I'm down with that. I don't know for sure if it's for a race thing 100%. But not this does not cover every single sport in the NCAA. Football and basketball. And again, look at the demographic in those two sports. Look who's most likely to have who's most likely to follow the lead of LeBron James and say, "Hey, look, like if I want to go pro and Eli's my boy, hey, yo, Eli, you come on, man, let's roll together. You be my manager, you represent me, you be my agent, and you handle all that for me.
Let's roll.
I cannot do that.
Yeah,
unless Eli has those certifications, and 9 times out of 10, the people that these athletes really trust that are in their circles are not going to have that certification. Now you can say, well, they can just go and get it. Well, they could, but that's going to take a long time.
By the way, anybody out there, I do have those certifications.
See, there you go. So you guys got those certifications. Well, you have you have the degree, but not the 3-year certification with the NCAA and all that kind of stuff, and you didn't take the exam.
Right.
I know what you're saying.
Right,
you got the
but
degree.
Also a law degree, passing the bar can offset that too. So.
It's just I don't know. I'm not happy with it. It just seems shady on the part of the NCAA. I could be wrong. It just seems shady. Seems that way. And this is going to affect a lot of young men. Again, young men who may have to trust people that they really don't know to handle their affairs, like their endorsements and things like that. You're gonna tell somebody that they can't put somebody that they trust in that position. They have to put somebody in that they may not know to handle my endorsements and all that kind of stuff. That's a little dicey. That's dicey. Eli.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks till draft day. 2
I
weeks.
I understand.
It's coming.
I understand, sir.
I'm just. Now, did you go and see the new rules? Did you go see the new rules? Did you read that post?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Okay.
You got to have your A game.
Oh, don't worry about
You have to have your A+ game.
Don't worry about me.
Okay. You got some sleepers, huh?
Yep.
All right. Say he's got some sleepers.
Yeah, Eric better be ready because I'm coming straight for him. I'm coming. Oh my God, I'm coming straight for everybody. It's going down.
All right. Okay, that's so says Eli. It's going down. 2 weeks we got our fantasy draft, man. It's just crazy league. Eli ain't ready, but I'm trying to tell him he's not ready, but he's not listening.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. Okay. He says he's ready.
I'm ready to take everybody out.
Ain't gonna happen, Captain.
Yeah, it is.
Not happening. All right, man. That's gonna do it for us. We're gonna get out of here. Once again, thank you so much to Joey Marousek from North Royalton, Lawson Nash from St. Ed's, and Jake Ryan from Jackson. Thank you guys so much for coming on and joining us again. We will be reaching out to more of you guys on the top 25 list and the Rising Stars list. Okay? Go follow 1 Unit Media at 1 Unit Media on Twitter. Okay, that's another place besides the app that you can go and listen to the show live as it happens. Next week, we'll be doing our prediction show. We'll be doing our pick'ems for the first week of high school football, and we'll probably do some NFL too. But we'll be joined by a very special guest, Lance Riesland, aka Coach Riz, former head coach of the Garfield Heights Bulldogs. He'll join us as well. So we'll be chopping up, doing some predictions with Coach Riz. Can't wait for that. All right, man. Thanks again to all our guests. For Eli Robinson, for Phil Rucker, for Reggie Logan, my name is Kevin Hanley. This has been the Quad Brothers Sports Show. The show will be uploaded to the app very shortly. And again, go like our page on Twitter at 1 Unit Media. All right, that's going to do it for us, man. Eli, take us out. Name of the song.
The name of the song is called Black Rose by KM Beats. This is the Quad Brothers Sports Show on 1 Unit Media Network.
We'll see y'all next Sunday. We out here. Peace.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.